Hello guys, welcome to another video here on pre-security, and today we're going to be treating how websites work under how the web works. And if you're just joining, we've finished treating DNS in detail and HTTP in detail under the how the web works. And this is a part here on pre-security. We've covered the introduction to cybersecurity and the network fundamentals. Without further ado, let's jump onto the next room, how the web works. All right, and on this particular room, we're going to be covering how to exploit a website. You first need to know how they are created. So to exploit a website, you first need to know how they are created. The first is the walkthrough video. We're going to skip that, and we'll head on to task 1, how websites work. Okay. Now on the other side, we'll get back to that. What we have here is, by the end of this room, you will know how websites are created and will be introduced to some basic security issues. Now, when you visit a website, your browser like Safari or Google Chrome makes a request to a web server asking for information about the page you're visiting. And it will respond with data that your browser uses to show you the page. Now, a web server is just a dedicated computer somewhere else in the world that handles your request. So you have your browser, you request from the browser through the internet, and then the request from your browser goes to the server, and the request from the server goes through the internet, and then request from server comes back into your browser as a response. Okay. Now there are two major components that make up a website. One, front end, client side, the way your browser renders a website. Back end, server side, a server that processes your request and returns a response. All right. Now there are many other processes involved in your browser making a request to a web server, but for now, you just need to understand that you make a request to a server and it responds with data your browser uses to render information to you. Now, what term best describes a component of a web application rendered by your browser? And we should have that as front end. That's the component, front end. Hence where it comes with those front end developers, back end developers, full stack, and so on. Full stack, like maybe someone who does both front end and back end, I guess. All right, now without further ado, head on to task 2, HTML. Now, websites are primarily created using view site. I think we have that here. Now, using HTML to build websites and define their structure. So HTML is like the official language used to build websites and define their structure. CSS to make the website look pretty by adding styling options, and JavaScript to implement complex features on page using interactivity. Wow, makes sense. Now, what is HTML? The hypertext markup language, HTML. You remember hypertext, which is the HTTP, the protocol we use for transfer, which is hypertext transfer protocol. Here we have hypertext markup language, which is HTML. It's the language websites are written in. Elements, also known as tags, are the building blocks of HTML pages, and it tells the browser how to display content. Now, the code snippet below shows a simple HTML document, now the structure of which is the same for every website. Now, we have the HTML structure, as shown in the screenshot above, has the following component. The first, the doc style HTML. First one, it defines that the page is a HTML5 document. This helps with standardization across different browsers and tells the browser to use HTML to interpret the page. All right, that's HTML. You can see here the number one. The doc type HTML shows that it's a HTML5 and it helps to standardize across different browsers. Now, the second is HTML. This front and back close. You have the HTML element is the root element of the HTML page. All other element comes after this element. Okay, It's more like the beginning, HTML start. Now we have the head. The head element contains information about the page, such as the page title. So the head, we have the head and the closing head here. It could contain the title of the page. Okay. Now we have the H1 element. The H1 element, the body element defines the HTML document's body. Only content inside of the body is shown in the browser. So we have the body, you see everything inside, the content will be shown between the body here. And we have the H1 element defines a large heading. So inside the body, we have the H1. We can use the H1 element, which is used to define a large heading, Alright, the P element defines a paragraph. Still inside the body, we can, use the P element. This is used to define a paragraph. Okay, a paragraph. We have that before, then we see a paragraph. There are many other elements tags or tags used for different purposes. For example, there are tags for buttons, images, lists, and much more. Now, tags can contain attributes such as the class attribute, which can be used to style an element. Example, make the tag a different color, like P class equals to bold text, or the src attribute, which is used on images to specify the location of an image, like image src equals to, and so on. An element can have multiple attributes, each with its own unique purpose. Example, P attribute 1 equals to value 1, attribute 2 equals to value 2, and so on. Now, elements can also have an ID attribute as the paragraph, and then we have ID equals to example, which is unique to the element. Unlike the class attribute, where multiple elements can use the same class, an element must have different IDs to identify them uniquely. Alright, elements IDs are used for styling and to identify it by JavaScript. You can view the HTML of any website by right-clicking and selecting View Page Source in Chrome or Show Page Source in Safari. I'm sorry. Now, answer the questions below. Now, let's play with some HTML. On the right-hand side, you should see a box that renders HTML. This is it. If you enter some HTML into the box and click the green Render HTML Code button, which is here, it will render your HTML on the page. You should see an image of some cards. If we render, we just render. We only have one image. See images all my cards. So it looks like one is unclear. Let's go on. One of the images on the cart website is broken, as you can see here, and the image will reveal the hidden text answer. Let's see the hints here. The cart2 image on line 10 is missing its image extension. I'm really sorry. Yeah, I think this is line 10 and it's missing the extension, which should be JPG, which is the extension for the. So add that on render, and we finally have our second card picture. Perfect. What we do, it says, what are we supposed to have here? Okay, we just type in HTML here. HTML hero. Great. Now, add a dog image to the page by adding another image tag on line 11, and the dog image location is img/g dog.1.png. What is the text in the dog image? Alright, so I'm just going to create a new one here, and we have img src to get the location equals to open up a hyphen. So we have that we have image/dog .1, that's the location. The extension is png, okay, and let's render that. Okay, it just did. And what happened? It's not rendering. Okay, am I missing something? Let's see. img/dog -1. Of course, that's what it did. What's happening? Let's see. Sorry, I had to just reboot quickly and see what the issue might be. Okay, so we have this .jpg and render. Let's see. Okay, let me quickly type in that again. img src equals to. Okay, and we do have here that the location is this. Okay, quickly type it. Let me just type it in. img/dog, right, the .1.png. Am I missing anything? No, that should be complete. And here we go. It should render. I don't know why. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead. I think I remember the answer. It's supposed to load. I don't know why. It's maybe the browser or because I'm using I don't know. It's supposed to be give us an answer like dog HTML. And yeah, that's the answer for that. So the next is our task tree. Let's head on to task tree, and here let's open up this view site. So on task tree here, we're treating JavaScript. Now, JavaScript, with meaning is JS, is one of the most popular coding languages in the world and allows pages to become interactive. So HTML is used to create the website structure and content, while JavaScript is used to control the functionality of web pages. Without JavaScript, a page would not have interactive elements and would always be static. Now, JS can dynamically update the page in real time, giving functionality to change the style of a button when a particular event on the page occurs, such as when a user clicks a button or to display moving in animations. Now, JavaScript is added within the page source code and can be either loaded within script tags or can be included remotely with the src attributes like script src, and then you load the file or the script for the JavaScript remotely. Now, the following JavaScript code finds a HTML element on the page with the ID of demo and changes the element's content to hack the planet. Okay, so we have document.getElement by ID demo .inner HTML equals to hack the planet. Okay, now HTML elements can also have events such as on click or on hover that executes JavaScript when the event occurs. Now, the following code changes the text of the elements with the demo ID to button clicked. So we have button on click, document is get element by ID demo dot inner HTML equals to button clicked, and then we have click me button. Now, on click events can also be defined inside the JavaScript tags and not on elements directly. Okay, now let's answer questions here. Click the view site button on the tags. On this tags, we've done that. On the right hand side, add JavaScript that changes the demo elements content to hack the planet. And to do that, we're going to change, okay, add your JavaScript here. So let's add this here. The script you're going to write here is going to use document dot, I guess, is that what we're going to do? Yes, so we're going to add document. Okay, document. I hope I'm getting this right. Document dot get element by ID, and we have demo, close, and dot inner HTML equals to hack the planet. Okay, and there we go, we close that. Does that make any sense? So let me just run down and see. Yes, we did it. For some point I felt like the answer to the question is JS is fun, JavaScript is fun. Okay, I can type that. Okay, JS is fun. For a minute there I thought maybe I'm not getting it right. So okay, all right, now add the button HTML from these tags that changes the elements text to button clicked. So over here we've changed that height to hack the planet to button clicked on the editor on the right. Update the code by clicking the rendered HTML plus JS code button and then click the button. Okay, looks like we're gonna write the whole of this again here, I think. Because let's see. Okay, so we're going to write button on click. Okay, let me see. Let's just start. I think I might still need all this equals to button click. Okay, let me just start here. So we're going to have, what's that icon? Can we hold? Okay, we have wait. Oh, and now I see what I should have done. We have that, and then we might just include it with this. Would this have made my code run any? Okay, there was an error with JavaScript. Okay, see, that's different then. All right, now let's see. We have a button, then we have on click equals to. We have then document.get elements by ID demo.html equals to, this is button clicked this time. Okay, button clicked. All right, and then we have this closed and that, and we're also going to have to indicate here click me. Okay, click me, right? Then we have this. Sorry, I have to type it out. I like to type it all so I get used to, the codes, All right, let's see this. Let's render. There's an error. There was an error. Is that like, this is where we're supposed to put in the script, I guess. Let me remove this and see if that gives me something. Render. There was an error. Is it correct? There was an error with your JavaScript. What am I doing wrong? Let me see hints here. Put the following on the HTML editor between lines 7 and 8. Button equals to. Okay, let's just do it. Is there where I can Ctrl Z here? Yes, and then let me remove all this first. between lines 7 and 8. So this is where I'm supposed to put it. And yes, let's run that and see. Click me. Yay. We did it. Alright, done. So I'm able to do it. We have click me, so it has to be between line 7 and 8 basically, or line 8 and 9. That's the way I put it. Let's see. 7 and 8, but I just put it between line 8 and 9. It did work. But anyways, yes, that's okay. Yes, it's between line 7 and 8 before, because it became 8. Yes. So we did have the button here, click me, and yeah, we're done. So we're heading on to the next task. That took quite a lot of time. Now, task 4, let me just switch to the side here. Now, sensitive data exposure. Now, sensitive data exposure occurs when a website doesn't properly protect or remove sensitive clear text information to the end user, usually found in a site's front-end source code. Now, we now know that websites are built using many HTML element tags, all of which we can see similarly by viewing the page source. Now, a website developer may have forgotten to remove login credentials, hidden links to private parts of the website, or other sensitive data data shown in the HTML or JavaScript. Now, sensitive information can be potentially leveraged to further an attacker's access within different parts of the web application. For example, there could be HTML comments with temporary login credentials, and if you viewed the page's source code and found this, you could use these credentials to log in elsewhere on the application, or worse, used to access other back-end components of those sites. Whenever you are accessing a web application for security issues, one of the first things you should do is to review the page source code to see if you can find any exposed login credentials or hidden links. So this is an example of it. So you might have to put a type, password, name, password, and that might be used to, okay, see the comment here, to do remove text credential admin equals to password 1, 2, 3, and so on. So this is user and password, so it's very important. Now, view this website on this link. What is the password hidden in the source code? Let's just say we tried a different view the website on this link. Okay, let's see. I'm trying the username admin and the password, let's say admin. And if we do that, it says incorrect credentials. Try looking at the source code or pressing Ctrl U at the same time. And here we go. So over here we can see we already have the password here. To remove text credentials from here, we can see it. So we have admin, and the password is testpasswd. Testpasswd. Okay. So what is the password hidden in this source code? Okay, we have test pass WD, and that's correct. So let me try logging in with the new information that we have, admin, and we have text pass WD. Congratulations. Okay, great. Now the last task here, task 5, let's quickly run that. Now let me view the site quickly. So HTML injection is a vulnerability that occurs when unfiltered user input is displayed on the page. Now, if a website fails to sanitize user input, filter any malicious text that a user inputs into a website, and that input is used on the page, an attacker can inject HTML code into a vulnerable website. Okay. Now, input sanitization is very important in keeping the website secure. As information a user inputs into a website is often used in other front end and back end functionality. I'm so sorry. Is often used in other front end and back end functionality. Now, if a vulnerability you'd explore in another lab is database injection. You've seen that, where you can manipulate a database lookup query to log in as another user by controlling the input that's directly used in the query. But for now, let's focus on HTML injection, which is client side. Now, when a user has control of how their input is displayed, they can submit HTML or JavaScript code, and the browser will use it on the page, allowing the user to control the page's appearance and functionality. Now, the first thing we can see here is the user types information into input field. All right. Now, and then he gets this script. This script is run. Function says hi, and so on. Now, the input is used in a JavaScript function to show the name of the page. So, welcome Fred, and so on. Number 3, no input is sanitized. So you can write your own HTML or JavaScript, and it will be used on the page. Now, let's say the image above shows how a form outputs text to the page. Whatever the user inputs into the what's your name field is passed to a JavaScript function and outputs to the page. Now, which means if the user adds their own HTML or JavaScript in the field, it's used in the say hi function and is added to the page. This means you can add your own HTML, such as the -h1 tag, and it will output your input as a pure HTML. Now, the general rule is never to trust user input. To prevent malicious input, the website developer should sanitize everything the user enters before using it in the JavaScript function. Now, in this case, the developer could remove any HTML tags. Now, view the website on the tags and inject HTML so that the malicious link to the http://hacker.com is shown. Let's get a hint here. Google how to create a HTML link and use it as input to the what's your name field. Okay. Now, this is going to be a strong tag. Now, what's your name? Let's see. First, let's just try Amy here and say hi. And it says welcome Amy. So let's see how. Let's Google how to what, so that the malicious link to http://hacker.com is shown. So let's Google how to create HTML link and use it as an input to what's your name field. Okay, let's Google that and let's see. Okay, we'll check the Stack Overflow. I might just have to go back to Tryhackme how the web works and see. I think I remember how they did it. The first one using a/something. I really don't know why it's done so, but it's more like a way to impute something like this. So let me try and see if I can. So it starts with the code written with this close shift this, and then we have the A, and then you have to input something like href equals to now http / and then we have the hacker.com. There was a specific website I went to that break this down. I can't get it anymore. .com, and then we do have what next? Okay, I think we have to close this, right? And then we have this, and we put the same http and hacker.com, and more or less close that with /a. I don't know if that's it. Oh yes, it worked. Congratulations, the answer is HTML injection. Okay, so basically this is how to inject it. There's a lot more to it, but I won't bother my head with that. So congratulations, we just completed the room. This room was quite easy and stressful at the same time, but we're going to see putting it all together as the next room. Thank you for learning with me and studying with me, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Have a nice day. Ciao.